Hi and welcome to this lesson on the Hayden Duet Concertina. This is the song Where Have All the Flowers Gone, and this is a song that I've sung since I was a small child. I learnt those 4 chords that you need to play it. I probably sung it in a very squeaky voice when I was about 6 or 7 years old, but the song fascinated me, the way that the verses lead one into the other. Where have all the flowers gone, picked by young girls everyone. Where have all the young girls gone, gone to young men everyone. Where have all the young men gone, gone to soldiers everyone. Where have all the soldiers gone, gone to graveyards everyone. Where have all the graveyards gone, gone to flowers everyone. And so the circle carries on. Even though I was a small child, the meaning of the lyrics didn't escape me, and it's obviously very sad, but it's a great song. And I think Pete Seeger was the version that I probably knew as a child. Anyway, I'm sure loads of people have sung it. We're going to learn to play the tune on this Elise Hayden Duet Concertina. I'm going to show you how to play 4 full 3-note chords on your left hand today. I'm going to show you how to play the tune and put a bass to it. Let's talk about the 4 chords you're going to need to play this tune. As we're in the key of G major, those chords are G major, E minor, C major and D7, a typical 4-chord trick in the key of G major. Now the 2 major chords, G major and C major, are the same shape, okay? So they have a shape of 4, 3, 1. So G is row 2 button 2, okay, and the B note is row 2 button 4, and the D note is row 3 button 3. So we have G, B and D, and those 3 notes played together gives you a chord of G major. Now if you move that shape over to rows 3 and 4 and down 1, you've got a C major chord, which is C, E and G. C is row 3 button 2, E is row 3 button 4, and the G you need here is an octave higher than the one you used in G major. It's row 4 button 2. Same as the other chord, the fingers used are 4, 1 and 3. So there's G major and C major. So when you change from G major to E minor, as you will at some point in the song, it's just a matter of lifting one finger and putting another one down. So you retain this note and this note. Those are the G and the B. And instead of D, you have E. So you have the note which is 4th button, row 3, finger 2. You see that? So from here to here, not much difference. So when you change from C major to D7, like this, you leave your little finger on because that note is C, row 3 button 2, and we have 2 other notes. We have this note here which is D, which is row 3 button 3, finger 3, and we have F sharp, which is row 3 button 5, finger 1. Technically you could add the A to make it a full 4-note chord, but you don't need that. Just those 3 notes are fine. So all on row 3, button 2, button 3 and button 5. And when you change from D7 back to G major, you can leave your 3rd finger on, okay, on this note of D. Practice going from G major to E minor to C major to D7, back to G major and round again. The problem I have sometimes is applying the same amount of pressure to all three buttons that you need for each chord. Sometimes you'll get a kind of that kind of thing, like a staggered, which you don't want. You want to try and get the three notes sounding together, sustaining together, and that's something you need to practice. Certainly I do anyway. Now you notice in bar number 1 it says 8 VA above that G major chord, and it's bass clef, don't forget. It's on the pull, and like I said, the notes are G and B and D, but actually those notes are an octave higher than they're written there. The reason I've written it like this is so it's easier to follow. It's all on the stave. Otherwise these notes would be very high up and going into ledger lines. It's much easier to read it this way. So that first chord there, that G major with the pull with the oval round it, that's that one there. And you've got your little bit of tune there in the treble clef. It sounds like this. Now you'll notice that in the treble clef, in the top stave there, the first beat is a rest, a crotchet rest, so a whole beat rest, and then still pulling, you're going to play D, E, D. Now that's quaver, quaver, dotted crotchet, and when you get to the word the note is C, finger 1, and it's on the push, and all those notes are on row 3 of the right hand side. So the D is button 3, the E is button 4, D button 3 again, and then you push button 2 for the C. Okay, now the chord in the bass clef there, that G major I was talking about, is only held on for one beat. So you go, don't try and, because what happens there, if you hold that chord on, it's going to drown out those next 3 notes, and you don't want that. So it's a fairly quick jab on that G major chord, just enough to establish it, and then lift your fingers off as you play those treble notes for where have all the finger 2, finger 3, finger 2, finger 1. So if you were going to count that, you'd count it 1, 2 and 3, 4 and like that. Okay? Now in bar 2, all the bars are linked treble and bass. And if you look at bar 2 where the words are flowers gone, you haven't got a chord in the left hand, you've got a little harmony rundown. You remember you played this G major chord in bar 1. Where the little finger is, that's the note G, and you're going to start row 2 with the G an octave above that. And when you want to go an octave higher on this instrument, you simply go straight forward 2 rows. So there's the G you want, which is row 4 button 2. You're going to run down like this, pushing as you play this on the right hand. So on the right hand you've got 3 notes all on row 2. You've got B, A, G, and it's button 4, button 3, button 2, finger 3, finger 2, finger 1, and you notice that the first A is tied and the first G is tied, so you only actually play 3 notes. You count it 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and the right hand has exactly the same amount of notes, has the same timing. You're playing that G that I mentioned, little finger, row 4, button 2, and then you play F sharp, and then you play E. F sharp is row 3, button 5, E is row 3, button 4, and it's fingers 4, 1, 2. So that is a harmony to the right hand, see? So what you want to do then, once you've mastered those 2 bars, is to practice playing them together. So let's just play those first 2 bars. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have the tune, where have all the flowers gone? It's not a great key for singing, G major. It's either a bit low or a bit high for me, but never mind, it sounds nice as an instrumental, so you don't really have to worry about the singing. So you pulled for the first chord and the first three melody notes, and then you pushed from the end of bar 1 to the end of bar 2. Let's just do that again, okay? So we want to be fairly closed up with our bellows before we start. Now be careful that you don't do this. That changeover, where you go from pull to push, make sure that's a clean break. So make sure you lift your finger off before you do that first push note on the word the. Okay, so a lot of chat there just for 2 bars, but you know, we're establishing the way we're going to be doing this. Right, similar thing in bars 3 and 4. In the tune, you're going from this G that you ended bar 2 with to the G an octave higher. So like I said before, forward, straight forward, 2 rows. So this is row 4, button 2. Now this is pulling. Before we get to that, actually, we need to play our C major chord. So we played G major in that first bar. Now we're moving to C major. Remember, that's the same shape, just on different buttons on rows 3 and 4, buttons 2 and 4 on row 3 and button 2 on row 4. So a quick pull on that, just 1 beat, and then in the tune, in the treble clef there, the first beat is a rest. That G that I talked about, where you move forward 2 rows, that's a round open note with the stem, so it's 2 beats, so it lasts for beats 2 and 3. And when you get to beat 4, you change direction to push as you play the note A, which is the next button down. So a fairly simple bar. In bar 4, the word is passing. Again, you've got this harmony, exactly the same as in bar 2. Same timing. The right hand is all next door neighbours. F sharp, E, D, fingers 4, 3, 2, buttons 5, 4, 3. And you've got the E tied to an E, the D tied to a D. You count it 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You've got an A on row 4, button 3. It's the highest note on the left hand side on this particular instrument. Go to the button below for the note G, then come to row number 3, button 5 for the F sharp. Right, let's play bars 3 and 4, shall we? So we're pulling to start with, C major chord. Takes quite a bit of practice to do that. I have to tell you that this is the first tune that I ever figured out on this instrument when I bought it, and I've left it to now to teach it to you because it is fairly tricky playing those full chords. Let's play those first 4 bars, shall we? I'm going to use my sheet music to do this. So close the bellows up so you're ready for the pull notes. G major chord, D with the right hand. Here we go. Pretty straightforward, once you've got the hang of it, of course. Bar 5 is the same as bar 1, we'll just rattle that off for you. Now bar 6 is similar to bar 2, but it's got an extra note on the end. Instead of just going, it goes back to the B note in the right hand. So with that treble clef, bar 6, you've got B, A, G, B, 1 and, lots of notes on the and, count off the beat. Fingers 3, 2, 1, 3. So you've got the B note, A, which is tied, G, which is tied, B, which is tied. First 3 notes next door neighbours, and come back to the B. Again, you're going to move from 1 G to the G an octave above. You're going to run down like you did before, G, F sharp, E. But then you're going to keep going down that row 3 to the note D. And in fact, in the next bar, in bar 6, you're going to get to the next button down, which is C. That'll be, you see, so it goes row 4, button 2, and then row 3, buttons 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so let's play bars 5 and 6, shall we? I'll go into bar 7 as well, so you get a look at that long rundown on that row with the left hand. So bellows fairly closed up, bars 5, 6 and 7. And in fact, I went on to bar 8 as well. Right, so let's look at bar number 7 on the next page. I told you that you got as far as the C on row 3, button 2, little finger, this is the left hand, and I'll carry on with that left hand. So I played 2 bars there. On the pull I've got C, E, E, and then pushing I've got 2 Ds. Crotchet, crotchet, dotted crotchet, quaver, semi-breve. That's counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that obviously isn't the tune, that's a little harmony to the tune. Now the tune starts on beat 2 of bar 7 for the long time ago. It does this, 1, long time ago. So you have 2 C's, this is pulling. Row 3, button 2, finger 1, then go to row 2, finger 3, and this is a push, and it's button 4, then come up to the button above that, which is A, row 2, button 3, finger 2, and that's a round open note, which is a semi-breve, 4 beats. Bars 7 and 8 with a tune. So we put those 2 bars together, 7 and 8 with both hands. Remember, we're going to get that C note on its own. Do that again. Remember, when you change direction from pull to push, to have a clean break, make sure you lift off and then reapply the finger, otherwise you'll get a nasty overlap. Okay, we're doing well. Bars 9 and 10 are the same as 1 and 2. Now the D note that you played at the end of bar 8 in the left hand is part of the up and coming G major chord, so you can leave your finger on that. So there we are, bars 9 and 10, same as 1 and 2. In the tune you're moving the index finger from this G to this G, an octave above, so 2 rows straight forward. It's a C major chord being played underneath it. So you are using this note of E, finger 2 at the end of bar 9, but you're changing it to finger 1 for the C major chord. And this is how it sounds, bar 11 and bar 12. So in bar 11, it's a quick C major chord, okay? Notice it doesn't add up that bar in the bass. I've just written the crotchet in, I've taken all the rests out so it doesn't look too complicated, but it's only 1 beat. On that first beat you play the G with the right hand. Remember, you're moving an octave, so 2 rows forward. G, G, A, G. So it's row 4, button 2, finger 1. Go to the same row, button below, button 3 for the A, which is on that first ledger line. And then as you come back to the G on the push for the word girls, it's finger 1 again, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Those are notes off the beat. So 1 and, isn't it? Just add that C major chord to it. The pushing and the pulling of this took me a long while to sort it out. I recommend you stick to what I put in there because you can get very messed up with this. You can run out of bellows quite quickly with this. If you stick to what I've suggested here, especially if you have an Elise like mine, I don't think you'll go far wrong. And bar 12 coming up is the same as bar 4. It's F sharp, E, D in the right hand, and it's A, G, F sharp the left hand. Sounds like this. This is pushing. So let's put those two bars together, 11 and 12. Okay, now we're on to the third page. Now from here to the end of the tune, every time you play the left hand, it's a chord and there's no extra notes at all. So bar 13, you start off with a pull chord of C major, just one beat, okay, it's there, okay, and so you play that chord and then you're still pulling as you play the E and the C on the right hand, row 3, buttons 4 and 2, then step back to row 2, change direction to a push for the note A, which is row 2, button 3, finger 2, push. Now stay pushing for bar 14, and you run up G, B, D, 1 and. So G is row 2, button 2, B is row 2, button 4, and D is row 3, button 3, and it's a G major chord with that. When you play bar 13, that's an A minor chord in reverse, E, C, A. When you play bar 14, you're playing a G major chord from the lowest note to the highest note. And as I say, left hand is C major chord, then G major chord. Let's play bars 13 and 14. Just a one beat jab on the chords. Bar 15 is similar to bar 13. Okay, the note at the end is a B, okay, which is row 2, button 4, finger 3, and it's a change from a pull to a push. Okay, so watch out for that. Now, when you change from bar 15 to 16, you're going from C major to D7. I spoke about this earlier. You retain the C note with your little finger, add the other two notes there. It's a dotted minim there, isn't it? So it's 3 beats, and you play an A note, dotted minim, and then on beat 4 of the bar, you lift both hands off, change direction for a pull for that G note. So it's push for the D7 chord and the A note, and then on beat 4, you've got that G on the pull in the right hand. Those two bars, 15 and 16. Alright, now we're very near the end. Now from 17 to 22, it's very, very straightforward. You play a G note in the right hand in bar 17 on the pull, which is held for 4 beats, and you play a G major chord as you do that. Now you remember at the beginning of the lesson I showed you how to go from G major to E minor to C major to D7 and back to G major, and that's exactly what you do at the end of the tune. You hold those chords for 4 beats each. In bar 17 you've got a G note with that chord, so that's pull G major, then push E minor 4 beats, then pull C major 4 beats, then push D7 4 beats, and then pull G major. Now if you want to do another verse, obviously you go back to the beginning, but if not, then just hold that chord for 8 beats. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. And that is it. It takes a lot of practice to get it sorted out. I'm going to play the whole thing through for you now so you can see how it looks and how it sounds. And that wasn't perfect by any means, but it was fairly close. It's really hard to get it absolutely spot on, but it's a very good discipline, isn't it? So there we are, very famous old folk tune from the 50s, I think. And here we are in 2024 and it's still going strong. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.